Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be spending some time talking about Arken Optics, not just one of the optics, but all of the Arken Optics. I've got a pile of rifles here, a pile of scopes. In this pile is one of each of Arken's current model of their scopes, of the optics that they have to offer. We'll spend a bit of time kind of going through this pile, talking about these a bit, and really letting you guys know, in my opinion, which one I think is their best scope, which one is the top dog in their lineup. So, going through the pile, no particular order here. Looking at the venerable SH4 Gen 2. This is the J model. Great scope. The J stands for Japanese glass. This one price-wise kind of goes about in the middle of their lineup. And this is really an unstructured kind of an attack at these Arken Optics here for you guys to get to my number one optic in this pile. So we're going to be a little scattered here with this. No real structure. SH4 Gen 2 J model, Japanese glass, kind of heavy. A lot of features for the money. Super good turrets on these. They got the really nice tactile. Got the clickety-click going on with these things. A couple different magnifications available. MOA, mil, a lot of options with this one. Really like this scope, and I've got a lot of these. Last check, I believe I have 9 of these on different, rim fires, center fires, modern sporting guns, just all kinds of different platforms. SH4 Gen 2 and the J model. My honest opinion on this, I can't really tell a whole lot of a difference with the J and the non-J. It's claimed to be better, and maybe it's in my head, maybe it's not. But nonetheless, this is the J model. I like it a lot. I'm not going to go as far as saying this is my favorite top dog one, but I do like it a lot, and it's definitely worth the money. These are highly affordable optics. These things are only really just over a couple $100 for one of these in the lower magnification. So let me set this one out of the way here real quick. All right, going to move on to the pile here. Here we go. I got another rim fire. We'll attack the, maybe we will be organized a bit here. Attack the rim fires. I got a CZ457. That was a Christensen Arms Ranger. These are the two 22 long rifles that I do a little bit more precision type shooting with. This one I've got set up with an EP5. This is the Gen 1, 5 to 25. Awesome scope. These things, if we're talking value, bang for the buck, these EP5 Gen 1s, all the same feature sets that you get on the SH4 Gen 2s, as far as you can get these things in mil or MOA. But, well, I guess I could say also you can get them in a couple different magnifications now, because we got the Gen 1 or the Gen 2. These are the higher priced ones from Arken. These are the ones that you're getting up into that, over $400, depending on the discount codes that are out there. Still a lot of scope for the money. And with a lot of scope comes a lot of weight. Great target platform, same as the SH4 Gen 2. Not really a great hunting scope in my mind. It's a huge honker of a scope. Again, you get the awesome turrets with that. I mean, that's even better than what you hear on that SH4. Just bang, bang, bang when you're going through it. But again, this thing's heavy. It makes this little bitty carbon fiber stocked CZ457 feel like I'm holding a big old 308 here. A lot of scope for the money, tons of features, super good tracking, super good glass. Not going to say this is the best scope, though. I think this thing is limited to the guys that are doing precision shooting, target shooting. I don't think it's the best option for a lot of guys that are out hunting. I think it's too big for that. It's big, bulky, and heavy. If you're hunting in a shack, in a stand, maybe it's not that big of a deal. Moving on to hunting, since we're talking about that. Everybody freaks out when they see a mag in one of these. I've got a wall rack that holds these, and you need a mag in there. Nothing in there, no surprise brass flying out. LH4, 4 to 16 by 44. I run mil in these. These are available in mil and MOA, and there's some talk of one of these being discontinued. This is the, or was, I believe, to be the most affordable Arken Optic made. Does not have the Japanese glass, but you wouldn't know it. You could put this thing called the LHJ4, and I would think it had Japanese glass in it. Capped turrets. Pull this thing off real fast, let you see what's going on inside there. Same setup that Arken uses on all their scopes with the capped turrets. This little deal here, you can use your fingernail or a coin to loosen it up. Really good scope. These things have the illumination going on, same as all the other ones here that I've talked about so far, the SH4 and EP5. They both, and this, have the illumination as well as a side parallax on it. What you get with this optic is lightweight, affordability, and in my opinion, just a great package for the money. You know, all of the Arken scopes, everybody coins these things as budget optics, but they come packed with features. And if we were looking at any of these scopes, you know, I say this to a lot of people, if we were looking at these things as 2025 and we were talking about these scopes in the year 2000, that Y2K year, all these things would be expected to be way, way, way more priced higher. But LH4, I really like this scope. I think for the money, the feature sets that this thing comes with, it is a phenomenal hunting scope. You can put this thing, this is a 450 Bushmaster, a straight wall gun. You could put this on centerfire rifles, the 22s, you can put this on anything. It really does have a focus as a close to medium range hunting optic, though it is first focal plane. But with these capped turrets, you know, you're kind of at the mercy of either keeping these in your pocket and then having access to these, which you very well can do. But it's just really not designed to be turning in big solutions like you would be with the EP5 or the SH4 Gen 2s or Gen 1. But a hunting scope, my overall pick for the best hunting scope that they offer, LH for hunting, you know, I'm going to say it's this LH4. I love this scope. It's sad to hear that these are probably going by the wayside from what the rumor mill says. I do think I'd like to get my hands on a couple more of these because I really do like this, unless they're going to be coming out with something that's going to really put this thing to shame. Can't say it is my favorite Arken though, because it's kind of suited to one purpose. It is the hunting optic. And now any of these you can use them for shooting at anything, right? As long as you can see the target through it, that's what it's for. Let's move on to this is my favorite actual rifle right here. Now this is a pistol caliber carbine, 9mm setup with, well, I showed you guys, I'm going to try to pull this off so you can see it. I can't even get them off. But this is the LH6. This is one of their LPVOs. This is the second focal plane one. I really like this for a hunting scope with the second focal plane. I kind of would like to see that LH4 second focal plane, but I'm not making them. But getting back to this is another one, capped optic or capped turrets on this thing. Value, this is another one right with the LH model that this thing comes in at a tremendous value. You're getting a lot of scope. You're also getting, I believe this one has just the Chinese glass on it again. Again, I wouldn't notice it. Illumination on this thing, but not a side parallax. I think the LPVO optics, just the lower magnification. I can't say what these are my overall favorites because I do like to do some long range shooting. I do like to do some precision shooting. Talking too fast, need to slow down. And I just don't think that an LPVO, if you only could get one Arken optic, I don't think this would open the doors for you to be able to do every kind of shooting that you might want to do. Long range hunting, long range target shooting, short range hunting, target, tactical type work. These have a place. And I don't think it's the greatest overall, but it is a great scope. I really like this. This would have to be maybe a tie for number 3 for me. So the LH6, and a lot of that is going to be due to the affordability again. I think that the affordable scopes that Arken offers and the so-called lesser glass, I really don't find it being a whole lot lesser. So we're going to move on with that one. What do we got here? We got the other LPVO. Now this is the EP8. the fancier glass and the bigger tube, still got the illumination. Again, same things with this, great glass, you get the tracking, you get the covered turrets, you get the illumination, you get the bigger tube. Well, I didn't talk much about the Arken mounts, but this is the 34mm Arken rigid mount. Again, suitable for its purpose, I would say. Now this is, well, the difference this is the first focal plane one. I'm gonna take this one right out of the equation for hunting. I think in many cases some of the first focal plane optics are simply not perfect for hunting just due to the nature of the reticle size when you're at the lower magnifications. Both of these LPVOs have that KL box on it that it's the love it or hate it. I'm not gonna get into that, it's another content topic. But the EP8, I'm not going to put this one in my top. It's a great scope. I've got 2 of these, but it's not one of my favorite Arken optics. What do we got here? We've got, oh, that's the LH4 again. We're not going to go through that. I'm not going to pull out the EP5 Gen 2. It's the same as the EP5 Gen 1, just more magnification. Really, let's get to my favorite. Only one left that I really haven't talked about in this pile. Now, before I get to this thing, some of you guys are already going to know what it is, but all these optics, there are different variants with these. The SH4 Gen 2s, I've got a couple of them that are J models and non-J models, higher and lower magnifications. You've got to shop when you're looking at the Arkens and make sure when you're going to buy one of these, you buy the right reticle if you're looking for the variable hunting reticle. Or if you're looking for mil or MOA, the magnification, if you want the higher or the lower, make sure you check the right bubbles on what you're buying, as well as when you go to buy one of these mounts, make sure you buy the right size mount for your scope. That's just a little side spider off tangent here. My favorite one, the scope that I feel is something that Arken should grow upon and make improvements to and offer more like this, is the optic that is packed with features for the hunter, it's packed with features for the target guy, and let's face it, a lot of people really are not educated enough to simply get on out there and use an EP5, an SH4, and start messing around with solutions and holdovers and things. It's getting more commonplace. I'm seeing it more at the range. I'm seeing more people get better at that kind of shooting. But many people, and where I'm at and the gun range I go to, are simply guys that are out plinking a little bit, shooting around at the target range, or getting ready for deer hunting season. And their idea of a solution or adjustment is Kentucky windage. Their idea of making an adjustment is doing this. Holding up or down a little bit. That's why we get a lot of people asking, can Arken make one of these duplex, simple to use reticles versus the turrets and all these numbers and stuff. A lot of people just don't know what that Christmas tree is inside there with a reticle or these numbers. They don't want to mess with that stuff. So get back to it. Drum roll here. And the one and the only, maybe not the only, but my favorite, the optic that I think is the best offering from Arken Optics for the person who really doesn't want to have a pile of these things, would be the EPL-4. This is the scope that comes with Japanese glass. This is the scope that comes with illumination. This is the scope that comes with a side focus. They all have a diopter focus. This is a scope that comes in a couple different magnification offerings, mil or MOA, as well as a couple different reticle. You can get the precision reticle or the hunting reticle. And it does have the features for hunting and target shooting. Looks like my elevation one spun around a little bit here, but we have got a zero stop on our elevation turret and an exposed elevation turret. So if you don't know how to use one of these, but you're learning how to do it, bam, it's in your face. You get that great big target turret there that you can learn how to use and start monkeying around with that thing. But you also get something here. You get the cap. So you get half of the LH model with this cap on your windage. So, you know, and what that does is, you know, this cap here, it protects this thing. If you're out hunting and you've got this thing on a sling, I don't have a sling on it, but you got it over your shoulder, this cap is keeping that thing from getting spun around and twisted. Might be a neat thing to be an optional big old cap that could go over top you know, of the other turret on here. But yeah, my favorite is the EPL-4. I think this is the optic that is priced really good for what you get. It does have the smaller tube, so this is the 30mm tube. Drops the weight down a little bit. Some people make claims that it does not allow as much light transmission. I personally don't feel that the 34 versus the 30mm tube impact that a whole lot. The smaller tube impacts how much mechanical adjustment you get inside here. There's not as much room for a larger mechanism in there. But generally speaking, hunters, not everybody here, now if you're watching this, but most hunters are not shooting at big game at 800 yards or meters. They're keeping that stuff closer, so you don't need to crank in as much of a solution. But you get a good size objective lens on this thing and the real quality Japanese glass. And again, I'm going to tell you guys that I can look at this LH and this EPL-4 and look through them, and maybe it's just my old eyes, but the Chinese glass on that seems basically as good as this on the EPL-4. So in a nutshell, this is my favorite offering up to 2025 right now, just before SHOT Show, is the EPL-4. I like the scope in the 6 to 24 by 50. I believe even on a 6 magnification, you can crank this thing down and you can hunt in the wood lots or fields and still have a wide enough field of view, even on a magnification of 6. So the EPL-4, Japanese glass in a mill with the SH reticle, is the one that is my favorite, in my opinion. The one scope, if you're looking to just get one of these things that you want to do some target shooting, you want to get to the range, you want to screw around with your friends, and you also want to hunt with. The rest of them, they're all fluff, they're great to have, and they're good to have if you're out doing different kinds of shooting. That one's priced right and feature packed. Thanks for checking in. Let me know, which one do you guys like best, and which scope of this pile do you guys use dual purpose? Are you using a big old EP5 out there? Because I've got an EP5 on one of my guns and I carried that around for a couple of years and said, that thing's heavy, I need to reduce some weight. Or are you using the LH model at the range and you find it works fine? You take these caps off and you're spinning in solutions and doing good. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think. So hey, thanks for checking back into the channel here, and get on out there, keep on shooting.